Всем здорово. Продолжаем проходить Alone in the Dark. Нам нужно попасть в офис доктора Грея. Идем туда. Надеюсь, ничего не помешает. Хотя вот здесь вот что-то как будто неспокойно. Самую малость. Да, за окном у нас гроза началась. Что как бы немножко добавляет крепоты. Что-то обвалилось? Ну, конечно же. Так, это библиотека. А мне вот сюда. Найдите другой путь в фойе. Ну, либо через огород, либо через чердак. Давайте попробуем через чердак.
I don't want to run into the orderlies right now. Not sure I can trust them.
Не беспокоить. Узник льда.
I think Dr. Gray might be in there. Perfect time to snoop around his office then.
Вот эти вот подтормаживания прям уже это напрягают. Так уже казалось бы, ну чё? Чему тормозить-то здесь? Так, ну, видимо, через какие-то нижние уровни идти. Ага. Хрен там плавал. Через нижние уровни. Тут что, в окно вылезть? Нет. Конечно же нет. Приготовление к Рождеству Иоанна Предтечи.
We must have faith that Jeremy's pact with the Dark Man is a bluff. If we are lucky, our visitors will find him and prove it's all nonsense before night falls. What is true is our attempt to call on her. Too many things have happened for this evening to be in vain. Think of Jack and Cassandra, even Perosi, whose circumstances I can't understand. Grace is a goat without horns. She knows it and will play the role. You must talk to your brother, Batiste. I worry that he will fail us. Mrs. Thompson.
Непонятно. Что-то они тут мутят все. Шуб-не-гурат. Ну, непонятно, что мутят. Сумасшествие в Астарте.
Lunacy in the Astarte Artist Colony, a monograph by Yael Klein. In early 1909, the old Derceto plantation outside of New Orleans was turned into an artist's colony. 3 famous European artists rented the house and the surrounding land from the owner, the Ledoux family. The colony was chiefly run by Sebastian Cortez, who was playfully dubbed the captain by his collaborators, William Arges and Heinrich Kassel. The colony existed for 6 years, until one day all 12 members disappeared without a trace. It is widely believed that their disappearance is connected to the disastrous hurricane that passed through on September 29, 1915, but nothing truly supports this claim. What is known is their frequent participation in New Orleans nightlife, their love for hosting parties, and their elaborate contributions to the Mardi Gras parades as the Pirates of Pontchartrain. Accounts of their lifestyle can be found in almost every gossip column. It can effectively be summed up as carefree and bohemian. In late June 1909, the name Astarte first appeared in the newspapers. Cortez said the name came to him as he was painting. There is never any claim to knowing about the ancient Phoenician fertility goddess with the same name before this time. His fellow colonist Heinrich Kassel did know, because he later produced sculptures that show clear references to ancient idols of the goddess. It's impossible to know for sure how this name suddenly made an appearance, but it is interesting because of Derceto's history. Even the name Derceto is the Greek name of a Syrian fertility goddess. In the case of naming the plantation, Derceto was certainly not an accident. We know that Elijah Pickford intended to build a temple for his cult, for he had distributed pamphlets 2 years prior to the purchase of the land, advertising his intentions. His followers were estimated to be almost 100 men and women, mostly sailors, Maroons, and Cajuns, when the plantation was built. To outsiders, Derceto registered as an ordinary slave plantation, which enabled Pickford and his flock to remain hidden for decades. The official story is that the cult lasted until 1862, when the Union Army came and burned down the plantation and scattered all who lived there. Following the Civil War, new people started to congregate in the ruins of Derceto to invent a new fertility goddess, the Shub Niggurath. As much as Derceto is a particular name to have heard of, it's not entirely uncommon among the learned. Astarte is equally known and could have been subconsciously chosen by well-read artists. Shub Niggurath is, on the other hand, very uncommon. Almost impossible that anyone in Louisiana would have heard that name. The name is referenced only in rare books like Unaussprechlichen Kulten and the Necronomicon, and is believed to be a bastardization of Arabic words meaning pertaining to the dark young. The few paragraphs printed on the goddess are so upsetting that no one in their right mind would want to build a religion resting on such qualities. The Shub Niggurath cult was hard to get rid of, but it is believed that despite the police jailing and killing several cultists over the years, the main culprit in the cult's demise is the cult itself, which seems to line up with every instance of cult activity on Derceto's grounds. When Captain J.W. Norton of the Union Army arrived, he described the people at Derceto as malnourished and maniacal. As much as the army tried to save them, they fought back with fervor, as if nothing was going to stop them from slowly destroying themselves. While the disappearance of the Astarte artist colony remains a mystery, the recurring motif seems to suggest that their fate involved lunacy and a hunger for self-sacrifice to that fertility goddess with 1,000 names.
Очень долго вот эти вот все чтения происходят. Ну, это неплохо для сюжета. Их хотя бы озвучили как-то. То просто сидеть, читать всякие вот такие записки вообще не круто. Оперная фиша. Пираты Поншартрена. Кто-то там чего-то разговаривает. Тут у нас шепчущее дерево.
What is that?
Интересненько. Нашептывают вечно там что-то. Есть идея. Немножко атмосферности.
I can't leave. I got a job to do.
Он же где-то здесь? Да. Да, где-то здесь. Летучий голландец. Когда становится хуже. Что-то не то.
There must be a spare key to Dr. Gray's office in here somewhere.
Просто думал, может, там где-то есть пароль от вот этого вот.
I don't have the combination for this. But maybe Jeremy did.
Что? Джереми? Так. Тут?
I need the key.
Ну, ключ в сейфе, да, поди? Может, все-таки здесь что-то. Непонятно. Попробовать комбинацию от того сейфа. Нет. Что-то из этих, может. Ну, здесь Ничего такого. Здесь тоже. В контракте вроде как тоже ничего нет. 913. Так. 9. 1.
It worked.
Вэу. Ключ от офиса доктора Грея. Пустая комната.
The last guest in the empty room suffered from severe maladaptation. I must write this down, because if I understand the condition sufficiently, it could make me deny this fact at a later date. And there is reason for me to think I may come to suffer the consequences from this dysfunction, as some who came in contact with the guest seemed to adopt a new worldview, in which everything was predetermined but broken. Upon accepting this worldview, some memories became unmanageable and later rejected. I do not know what this means. I cannot even remember the fate of the guest. I think they were simply misplaced one day and forgotten. Just like all documents pertaining to this guest, they have all been destroyed, or they never existed in the first place. Who wrote this? There has never been a guest in the empty room.
Пойдем к доктору.
Dr. Gray's office, all to myself. Let's see if we can figure this guy out.
Dr. Gray was somehow mixed up in this business with the Dark Man, Detective Conway decided. He had to be. Either Dr. Gray was using the idea of the Dark Man to manipulate and torture Jeremy, or the Dark Man was an actual powerful being possessing Jeremy. And in that case, Dr. Gray was simply a stooge. Maybe both could be true at once. Conby felt his mind racing in all directions. No matter what, he had to find a way to break the pact. That was what Jeremy said was needed. It didn't even matter what was true or not. If Jeremy wouldn't leave Deseto before the contract was broken, then Conby had to make it happen. He just wished the steps on the contract made a little more sense. I have finished tidying up Miss Beauregard's belongings. I will leave it to you to contact her agent and have them collect her things. I found one of Grace's drawings she might want back, along with this key in her room, which I believe you've been looking for. Mrs. Thompson.
Франция. Нашел Францию. Пиратский клад.
This is where McCoffey has hidden my favorite young. It's very important.
Очевидно, комната какая-то и место. Возможно, что это комната. Ключ от лестничной клетки. Лечение Джереми.
Dearest Dr. Manzetti, I find myself in a losing battle with my patient. As I've disclosed in my previous letter, his delusions have him completely captured. It's bad enough that he is torturing himself with paranoia, but his madness turns out to be quite persuasive to others, effectively laying the ground for mass delusion. I am writing to you in hope that you can give me some guidance. Beyond my ambition to avoid devastating surgery on my patient, I have grown worried about my own defenses. The words of my patient are deranged, yet they often resonate with something primitive within me. I have tried photographing his brain with X-rays. It was surprisingly difficult to get good results. Dark blotches on the plates kept obscuring all details. My patient looked at the bad plates and cried out in terror, telling me the dark areas was the shadow of the worm, eating him from inside. I could not see anything out of the ordinary. I hope this is a sign that my mind is not as receptive to the madness as I had feared. After further inquiry, my patient described the shadows inside his mind as some kind of chthonic monstrosity that wants to undermine his sanctuary. This is clearly a reference to a place he calls Teroea, a sort of library or convent that works as a psychological haven. With this imaginary haven threatened by this Chthonian, he has now constructed another, less pleasant hiding spot. Lately, he has been bringing up a metaphor of a steamboat that has run aground, that he feels like he needs to start the engines and reverse, but he is afraid that the hole in the hull would cause the whole ship to sink. I've been watching him turn this metaphor into reality for the last week. He knows it's made up, but he is doubling down, trying to make it a real memory. I feel certain that this is my chance to break through the barriers of his self-deceit.
Интересненько. Теперь открыто. Сокровище на рисунке Грейс. Это вообще какая-то бестолковая комната. Ну, не на корабле. Корабле. Что-то поменялось? Непонятно. Как будто бы ничего не поменялось. Странненько. Мы вышли сюда. Так, рисунок. Пустая комната. Пустая комната. В кабинете администратора что-то еще осталось. И я уже вижу, что на лестничной клетке что-то есть. То вот это кабинет администратора. Он на сейф показывает, типа там еще что-то есть. Да вроде как больше ничего тут нет. И загадочка решена уже с сейфом. Так, это мне теперь надо вернуться. Или не надо? Здесь я смогу пройти?
I need the key.
Франция тоже не подошла. Эх. Какая жаль. Тут все завалено. Лестницу сломали. Что вы за люди? Опять что-нибудь переклинит. Мне надо налево. Вроде бы. Ну, тут, блин, все очень непостоянно. Куда-то я пришел. А, мне сюда и не надо, да? Ну-ка назад. Мне вот сюда вроде как. Ну и что тут грохотало так? Открыто. Теперь идем в какую-то там пустую комнату. С тормозами, конечно же. Так, спокойней. Ну, мне, по крайней мере. Вам не знаю. Что-то тюрьма какая-то. Закрыта. Козел отпущения. Неописуемые культы. Секунду. Поехали дальше.
I need the key.
Не такие. Диалог пошел заново. Заметки о рентгенографии.
Radiography. Patient Jeremy Hotwood. Date June 14, 1930. Plates. Jeremy's skull proved difficult to capture properly. Partial radiographs worked best. A complete picture of the brain can be assembled by piecing 3 plates together. Observations. Even when looking at an assembled version, a shadow covers significant parts of Jeremy's brain. Possible tumor, but more likely that the equipment is failing. Jeremy reacted strongly to the pictures and claimed to see a giant clay worm eating and displacing his memories. Notes. While this exercise has left me nowhere closer to an answer, I feel confident that a Burckhardt lobotomy should sever all necessary parts.
По-любому надо будет снимки собирать.
Hypothetical psychosurgery based on the ideas by
О,
Burckhardt and the
фронтальная
St.
лоботомия.
Petersburg research could end up saving Jeremy's mind. Severing the connections around the frontal lobe would certainly solve most mental afflictions. The procedure would be brutal in performance, as well as in efficiency. An ice pick pushed through the edge of the eye and into the skull would untether the nerves like Alexander cutting the Gordian knot. As this would likely leave Jeremy in a very different condition, all other paths should first be explored. The medical instrument I would need for this lobotomy is missing, and I should have Waits order a new one.
Радикальная мера. Угомонить пациента. Ожидаемо. Ключ от операционной. Предохранитель. Везде надо собирать. И чего? Типа еще один надо. 2 снимка уже есть. Видимо, это другие снимки. А крики, походу, вот как раз из операционной. Или нет? Это запись. Предохранитель еще один.
Don't mind if I do.
Окей. Идем включать электричество. Кажется, что Карнби всегда крадется, но это не так. Крадется он чуть-чуть по-другому. Он просто ходит так медленно. Надо все зелененькие, да? О, как это знакомо. Ой, вообще, изи. Так, снимочки. Должно быть 3 снимка. Просто как будто все снимки должны быть частичными. Типа вот этот и какой-нибудь вот этот, может. Нет. Этот, может. Тоже нет. Ага. Ну, как будто бы вообще нет. Ну, вдруг. Что-то как будто не совпадает. О, сложилось. Это что за... Тьма Джереми. Отколотый кусок обожженной глины, судя по размеру, это часть статуи. Тот самый червь. Окей. Куда мне его девать? Статуи я тут не видел. Все закрыто теперь. Как бы намек, да, типа вали отсюда. Тут теперь все красиво очень.
Why does this keep happening? What am I supposed to do?
Валим, видимо. И чем быстрее, тем лучше. Беги, Карнби. Ключ надо. Куда-то пришли. Оп, а там нету ничего больше.
And we're back here. Well, perfect time to have a look around this place.
Петля. Попробуем. работает. Почему-то. Так. Тут ничего не вращается. Собралось. Во. Смотрите-ка. 1, 4, 9, наверное. Или 6. Или наоборот все надо. 1, 4, 6 все-таки. Вот и петля. Окей. Уже слышу, журчит водичка. Зачем это показывать? Оно все равно не работает никак. Укромный уголок. Интересненький. Туда пришел, да? Так, ну ладно. В следующей серии, я так полагаю, мы будем на корабле. Спасибо всем, кто смотрит, комментирует, ставит лайки. В общем, всем пока. До скорых встреч.